Hi, today's tutorial is going to be on how to make a basic catalog icon. You're going to want to open Photoshop, make a new template, and you're going to want the size to be 100 times 80. And you want it to have the pixels thing on it. Okay, this is your size that you need to have it for the catalog icon to work. You can make different borders. I'm just going to do some really quick. You can have, let's say, an oval border. That's a little off, but you can fix that. And just go to stroke. And then you can adjust it to the size you want. As long as it stays within 100 times 80, then it will work. You can have the edges transparent, and that's also how people make unique borders. I am not going to use an oval one for an example. I am going to use, actually I'm going to go down to the shape tool, and I'm going to pick the rounded rectangle. And what this is going to do is it's going to fill it automatically. And then you just want to go to rasterize. And then you can click it and change the color of it, whatever color you want. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to use black. Then you can draw your details, but most people will go to this site. And all you want to do is type in Photoshop brushes. Not all Photoshop brushes will work for lower versions, but usually the brushes will work for every version that's pretty high, from CS2 up. I have used CS2 for many years, and okay, well, let's use this one. Okay, you see there's a download option right here. If it's downloadable, it means you can download the brushes, and it's free. When you're making a catalog icon, you don't really have to credit the person that made the brushes, because you're not selling anything on the background of your icon. You are selling your product. So no, I do not ever credit somebody when I make my catalog icon unless I'm selling it in forums, which I don't do anymore. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your brush. You're going to want to click this little arrow, and there will be a load brushes option down here. And then you find your brush set that you just had, and now you see you can have your little brush set. And then you just go about making it however you want it. I'm going to use white because it shows up the most. And you can make whatever patterns you want. You can mix it from different colors, so you want blue in it. And obviously I'm not going to use this icon after, and then you can just mess around with the different, adjustments. Oh, it's not going to show up because I didn't do a new layer. You have to do a new layer for the layer options to show up. So I'll just make these, and then you can mess around with the different adjustments, and why does it keep doing that? And then you can get whatever desired effect you want. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it like that for the sake of the tutorial. And now I'm going to, well, what you wanted to do was you wanted to keep your rectangle layer as the single rectangle layer. And I'm going to show you why. I'm just going to have to remake it, but I'll show you the purpose of keeping that layer the same. Okay, I'm going to just drag it to the top, just so I can make it bigger. That's too big. You can always zoom in and get your details exactly the way you want. Can you zoom it back out? Okay, now unless you rasterize it, you can't click it. So you have to rasterize it. And then I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to hide this layer, make a new layer, edit, stroke, and it doesn't matter, you can use it however thick you want. You can use the inside or you can use the outside. I'm going to use the outside. And now you have like a border on the outside of your icon, and you can play with the settings, get whatever setting you want. And now I'm going to show you something that's completely optional. I make a new layer, I go up here, the elliptical marquee tool, and then I just make a little thing like that, and then I go select, inverse, and then I fill that with white. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click your border layer, highlight it, select, inverse, and then what this does is it gets rid of the excess area where you had your white. And then you're going to want to drag the opacity down, and this is how you make shine on your icons. And this is pretty much the basics of making an icon. You can add your little dev name, and I'm just going to just name it dev name, and make it whatever color you want, add whatever, details you want at the end. And then I'm going to also show you really quick how you can pre-made thing here. So I'm just going to use this picture that I used for my tutorial on my t-shirt. I am just going to select what I want in the icon, crop it. Then you're going to want to go to image size, and the width you want it to be 90. And you want to make sure your constrained proportions is on, because if it's not, it will widen it to whatever settings you had in the first place. And then you're just going to want to hit OK. And then you drag it over, you place it underneath the shine, and it's pretty big, so you probably want to adjust the settings even more. You just step backward and you make it whatever setting you think will work with it. And now it's smaller and you can still see the details of the shirt. And also, you probably don't want your dev name to be that long. So I'm just going to make it smaller. And then how you get rid of you see where the shirt is right here and your icon is a different shape? You go to the border layer, you click it, select, inverse, and then you can either hit Control X or you could just hit delete. And then you have your little basics of making an icon. I might make a product picture and then resize it into an icon for a tutorial, but I prefer to make the icons from scratch. You can obviously make it more detailed and make different borders, experiment all you want with it, and make whatever icon to have your desired icon. That's it for the tutorial. If you have a request for a tutorial, leave a comment. I might make it.